You do absolutely everything, or you have like a standman for certain things?
No, I try and do everything that I possibly can do. Unless something is really incredibly dangerous, then no. Get my stunt double.
How are you doing?
Very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. You've been fighting like in many different movies, in many different franchises. Which of all the movies you've done and all the fights you've had in the past was the most challenging and the one that took you the most effort?
This movie, by far, was the most challenging to make in terms of the action. And that's saying a lot because the Fast and Furious movies that I've done in the past Fast and Furious 5, 6, 7, and 8, the action is always loaded and it's always very challenging, but in Hobbs and Shaw, it was easily the most challenging because the pressure's on. It's the first spin-off of one of the most successful franchises of all time. So we had to deliver. We had to deliver on the action. And we also had a director in David Leitch who is really a maestro of action, from Deadpool to John Wick. He really has a unique eye in terms of his action. So we had myself and Jason Statham and Idris Elba, who we knew that we were going to all fight each other and we wanted to deliver for the fans. And David wanted to put us in the elements of water, rain, fire. And it was really challenging. But look, at the end of the day, we delivered and it came out great, thank God. And here we are.
We're gonna need the best trackers in the business. Luke Hobbs.
I'm what you call an ice-cold can of whoop ass.
We're gonna need to operate outside the system. Deckard Shaw.
I'm what you might call a champagne problem.
So you do absolutely everything, or you have like a standman for certain things?
I do as much as I need to do, as much as I should do, because I think, audiences are very savvy, and if the camera can stay on me while I do and plus, I'm very fortunate that I came from a world of action and wrestling where I was throwing around a lot of guys. So no, I try and do everything that I possibly can do. Unless something is really incredibly dangerous, then no. Get my stunt double.
I'm dealing with the future of the planet. I'm the necessary shock to the system. I am human evolutionary change. Bulletproof. Superhuman.
Who the hell are you?
Bad guy.
There was a sentence that Idris Elba says in the movie, that humanity, hate for each other, is bigger than self-preservation, and it resonated with me. I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about.
I like that line. I wrote it, yes. I'm only kidding. I did like that line because I think, and our writer, Chris Morgan, who's written pretty much all the Fast and Furious movies, we wanted to create a bad guy that also had the perspective and the POV of what's happening in the world today and in today's worlds. So, one of the things that we wanted to do was have our bad guy, who in my opinion is one of the greatest, if not the best bad guy the Fast and Furious franchise has ever seen, have him have his perspective on what's happening, not only between Hobbs and Shaw, but Hobbs and Shaw, this idea that we do hate each other, is a microcosm of a bigger problem that represents the world, he's saying. But then ultimately what we wanted to do was at the end, let the world know and let our bad guy know that while we may not get along, we can put our differences aside and work together. And then when we work together, then we become unstoppable. Like, that's the main theme.
3 shocks will kill a man. There we go. It's a bad guy speech.
You had to open your big mouth, didn't you, huh?
Yeah, I thought it was a cool thing to say in the moment.